Okay, let me be honest. In the nearly 10 years I've lived in Boston, I have never rooted for the Patriots. I know, sue me. And after that game, I kind of regret doing so this year. But this year's Super Bowl was nothing short of patriotic. Red, white, and blue was everywhere. And I'm not just talking about the American flag. It donned the Pats uniforms, Lady Gaga's attire, and the smoke that went up at the end of Bad Bunny's halftime show. And of course, the Puerto Rican flag Benito held was light blue instead of navy. Commercials touted togetherness, be it Redfin and Rocket Mortgage trying to get you to be a good neighbor, aka buy a house in this economy, or Coinbase getting you to sing karaoke, showing a running theme of unity, which we all could use a little more of right now. And as Benito and Levi's made clear, the only thing stronger than hate is love. Just take it from Seahawks safety Julian Love. Now, it goes without saying that not everyone is on the same page. There was a whole other halftime show happening, put on by right-wing student organization Turning Point USA, that featured Kid Rock and a host of others. But according to El Paso Times, about 6 million viewers tuned into that, while Bad Bunny attracted 135 million. And it seems that the president was one of them after all. Nonetheless, at a time when the country is hurting, we're looking for all kinds of ways to heal. And we need each other to do that, whether you were born here or not, whether you speak English or not, because we are indeed America. And it's not our fault if some folks can't accept it. We know the problem. Now let's get to the root of it. I'm Paris Alston, and this is Rooted.
Hey, what's up? This is Esteban with GBH News. We're here in sunny San Francisco, California, talking to fans about the big game between the Patriots and Seahawks at Super Bowl 60 on Sunday. Let's see what they have to say.
I think it's just that underdog thing, right? The whole country is rooting against the Patriots. Like, I walked in here wearing my Gonzalez jersey, and people are like, "You're gonna lose, you're gonna lose." Like, you know, so it's like us against the country.
I'm very optimistic. I think sometimes we have up and downs, and other fan bases are not interesting. I'm just for the Patriots and new trainer, new young quarterback, and I just see the future.
It's going to be a tough game, but I feel like if they could protect Drake from, just give him a little bit of time in the pocket and then just get the ball out. Hopefully, it will work.
Well, Super Bowl 60 gave us a lot to talk about, and here to break it down with us is Trajan Warren, who is a reporter here at GBH News, Katiria Colon, who is the founder of eXpozedtv and GrindCon, and Auzzy Byrdsell, who is a development fellow at the Boston Globe. Thank you all so much for being here.
Morning. Thank you, Paris.
All right.
Thank you, Rooted.
Of course. So we're just going to go around the table, starting with you, Auzzy. One word to describe last night.
Unity.
Katiria?
Love.
Culture.
And not a win, because the Patriots, right? Not champions for the Patriots, not dynasty. So let's start there, actually, because this was really exciting. That was a big storyline. The Pats are back in the Super Bowl, but it was a whole different Patriots team from the Brady and Belichick dynasty days that we had seen. Auzzy, why did they fall short?
I think the first thing that comes to mind for me is experience, right? There was a lot of comparison between our old Patriots team that was super dynamic and historic in a lot of ways, and that was compared to this new team that was making a lot of similar strides, but at the end of the day, I think experience was the callback. This was a lot of people's first Super Bowl that played on this team, right? And I think it showed going up against one of the best defenses in the league. And you look at the Patriots playoff run, I specifically look back at the game against the Rams. It wasn't the strongest showing, and it's not to take away from the Patriots' run. It was, again, historic, but I think more experience would have done them well in this game.
Mm-hmm. And Katiria, you mentioned it seemed like, they kind of showed up and were like, wow, we're just glad to be here.
Yeah, we're glad to be here. I mean, I think everybody was super excited, but just like we were talking about, I think it was the second touchdown, I seen the Patriots, and they kind of stopped running. I forgot which player it was, but I'm like, what's going on? Like,
and they were running slow.
they're running slow.
Yeah.
Is my TV lagging?
100%. I mean, it did seem like the Seahawks, every time they got the ball on those like breakaway touchdowns, they were wide open.
But, and it's like, what's going on?
Yeah. Trajan, you're a football fan. How did you see the failures on the Patriots end? Or were you even going for the Pats?
Well, the North Carolinian in me was cheering for Drake May. I was hoping that
Facts,
he
same
put out,
here.
I was
Fellow
hoping
Tar
he put
Heel.
up a better performance. But I think it ties down to what you said, Auzzy. I think the experience, the lack of experience. They had a lot of rookies on the offensive line. A lot of people, like you said, their first time on that big stage like that, and the nerves kind of get to you. You know what I mean? And like you said, the Seahawks just had an incredible defense. Drake May was, running around for his life a lot of that game. But
Drake was running. He was running.
It's the only one.
Yeah, exactly. But it's one of those things of like, he's 23. There's a lot of young people on this team. Mike Vrabel is in his first year as head coach. They have a succession plan with Robert Kraft and the Kraft family as far as the ownership. The Patriots will be back.
Okay.
They'll be back.
We'll hear you. Hopefully they'll be back stronger than this time.
And faster.
Hopefully. Now, of course, there was some controversy surrounding the team with wide receiver Stephon Diggs. And the latest allegation against him, which was his defamation lawsuit, this is on top of the assault and battery lawsuit that he has had pending for a few months now. Do you think that affected the mood, Auzzy?
I think tremendously. In certain demographics and certain conversations, everything from current players, you mentioned the Kraft family, and there's ties there to the current federal administration. And I've heard a number of conversations about how it can be difficult to root for the Patriots in the midst of so many things that may not align with certain fans.
And he not only did he lose a chance to get the Super Bowl ring, but there's a rumor that he lost his woman.
They don't follow each other.
They unfollowed Cardi B, rapper Cardi B, who had been dating Stephon Diggs, had a child by him last year. They unfollowed each other on Instagram. And I don't know if the photos are still there or not. I haven't checked on her page.
I haven't checked the photos, but I think her commentary when they asked her, like, what words do you have for Stephon? And she was like, good luck. And she did a little, like she's pissed right now, so.
Ooh, it's like good luck on the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is hard to ignore, right? And the NFL really has to think about how they treat and handle players who have these sorts of things around them. Trajan, what does this say about the NFL as a business? I mean, because this isn't the first time a player has come up and had some controversy surrounding them.
And not the first time recently. A Falcons player, James Pierce, I believe his name is, just got in trouble this weekend for battery against his partner, who is a WNBA player. So this is something that the NFL has been dealing with for a long time, and something that they really need to take a stance and address sooner than later. I think there's controversy with the NFL as far as diversity and and inclusion and those things, but when it comes to domestic violence and just violence amongst its players and employees, I think there's a real serious conversation that the NFL needs to have.
Yeah. I mean, where is the NFL right now as a whole? Katiria, you mentioned that unity was a huge theme.
Yeah.
Or no, you said unity. You said love.
Yeah.
And I'm curious how that came through with the Super Bowl as a whole, because there's this huge debate about do we have this common culture where everyone is tuning into this anymore? But did that feel different last night?
I mean, Bad Bunny's a superstar, right? And he's really big. And at this point, like, it doesn't matter where you're from, you know who Bad Bunny is. Yeah. And I think me and my friend were talking about this, like, we've Puerto Rico is a part of the United States, but we sort of feel like a black sheep. We're not like, like when there's a disaster, right? We're actually not supposed to get aid from other countries, even though they want to aid us. And then we count on that support from, the states, right? And, it lacks in it, our electricity. Every house has generators. Every house has a water tank. I mean, there's a lot of necessities, and to be a part of United States it's kind of crazy. So I think just to go back to your question, I do feel like there was a lot of unity, even though, because like you see Lady Gaga, right? You know, she's showing support. You see all of the players, like, I don't know what he's saying, but like, I love it. And you see so many celebrities and people coming together. And even like the porch scene, I mean, Jessica Alba was there, like a few other people, actors.
Cardi B was there.
Cardi B was there, you know.
She said, I might not make it to the locker room, but I'll make it to the casita, honey.
Good luck seeing you on the screen.
Yes. Even though, I mean, we're not on the subject yet, but like, you know, there's parts of the performance that definitely threw me off. And it was Lady Gaga's. Listen, I love Lady Gaga, but like, as a Puerto Rican, I would have loved to see La India. You know, if we're gonna really have a salsa song, if we're really gonna do it right, a Puerto Rican salsa singer, like even if it was in La India, right? Even if it was Mark Anthony, that would have been super powerful. So I think that I was reading a lot of articles online, and it was pretty much like Bad Bunny has always wanted to perform with Lady Gaga, and he loves her presence and who she is. But for that moment, and which was a Bad Bunny moment, but of course, as us Puerto Ricans, we're looking and we're like, what's going on? Where are all the salsa singers? Where are all the Latin artists? And that's what we wanted to see.
And you know, Auzzy, it's interesting because even as we debate whether the Super Bowl is still this huge cultural moment, people still see it as the opportunity, right? There's still this expectation to make a statement and a stand. Why is that pressure still on this moment?
I think with how many people tune in to the Super Bowl is one of those moments you look at the NBA Finals, the Super Bowl, the World Cup. It's one of those moments where time stops for a lot of people, and everybody is tuned in to the same thing. And so, even the Grammys, there were a lot of controversial political statements made on that big stage. And so, whenever a lot of heads are turned at one point, and you can capture attention, I think that's a really strong opportunity for an artist like Bad Bunny, who has such a great following, to make a statement, to demand a statement, right? And I think he did just that. I think I'm not Puerto Rican. I also don't speak Spanish, but I thoroughly understood, or what I understood the intent, the message of the show was trying to get at, and that is unapologetically expressing who you are, that you belong, that there is a space for you, and that, as you mentioned earlier, the language of love transcends any native tongue. Seeing these different aspects of Puerto Rican culture that I was being educated on, right? On this big stage, seeing Bad Bunny on this electrical, the pole, and he's literally singing a song mentioning, you know, he feels that Puerto Rico has been neglected because they often get power outages from some of these, what's the word I'm looking for? The natural disasters that Puerto Rico gets hit by, right? And he's literally on an electrical pole performing this, right? These are things that we can learn about from this performance alone. And now I can go home, I can Google whatever I need to learn. Now I can learn how to make a difference. Now I can tap in and do what I need to do. Imagine how many people are doing the same things, right? And so using that big stage and having that kind of influence is extremely, extremely powerful.
100%. And Trajan, you were in Puerto Rico recently.
Really? Where'd you go?
So I was in San Juan, I was in Aguadilla, Yes. No, I had a beautiful time.
How did this performance resonate with you, someone who is Black American, had been to Puerto Rico, but can understand these themes, but are seeing them from this different perspective?
100%. I think what you said, Auzzy, like I'm not Puerto Rican, I don't speak Spanish, but you get a glimpse into the Puerto Rican culture through that performance. The street vendors, as he was walking kind of through the maze of the sugar cane fields.
The nails was what got me. I was like, yes.
The woman in New York who I guess runs the Caribbean social club that was kind of like he handed the drink to, like these just little, Easter eggs that, the light poles. And so I think it was a display of what Puerto Rico is for people who may not be familiar. Like even my dad, who doesn't know who Bad Bunny is, he was like, "That was really good. Like that was one of the best performances I've seen in a while." Like so, I think it just opens the door to the great island and country and people and history and culture of what Puerto Rico is to people who may not be all that versed in it.
And Katiria, give us a little peek inside, because you have put on events of large scale, right? That have to be very intentional and that you're doing in an ecosystem like Boston that may not be used to something like that. So in this sense, Bad Bunny is bringing something that the typical NFL crowd may not be used to, but is making it really intentional so that everyone can be part of it. What goes into that?
A lot goes into it. And I first want to talk about representation. I think Bad Bunny right here opened the door for a lot of Latinos and a lot of people in general. Like, I love how he mentioned Jamaica, Haiti, Canada, all these countries, right? And so I think when you're putting on an event and when you're building infrastructure, you're thinking like, okay, where does representation come? And I think that it's really important that, like, especially from us and our team, when we think about like, okay, who are we bringing into the industry that can come and speak about music business or can come and speak about the entertainment business, we're looking at who is going to be on stage representing who. And so that's a really big thing. And I think that
which is why Lady Gaga didn't land for you.
I love Gaga. Don't come for me, okay? Don't come for me. I love it, but it's like representation is just a big thing, and that was just a big statement. And overall, the performance was amazing, and it just powers me. Like, I literally like cried, even like, you know, him giving the Grammy Award to that kid, you know, that's representation. I think of that and I look at that and I'm like, damn, I remember the first time I heard Angie Martinez on the radio and I'm like, and she looked like me. And I was like, damn, like, I want to build something that Angie Martinez is building. And so I'm looking at Bad Bunny and, you know, I'm seeing everything that was built before him, right? Like bringing like Don Omar, Daddy Yankee, Tego Calderon. These are staples that, you know, when they were doing the music, people looked at our reggaeton and was like, it's ghetto. It's like, it's not worth national news. And he brought that to the forefront and said yes. And so for him to do that, and for us, especially like me building this right now in Boston, is so big because, you know, I do it for representation. I do it for people that I would love to see elevated and empowerment. I mean, I got all of that. I have still chills of him saying, hey, you need to believe in yourself because I believe in me. And that, I think that message right there was the most powerful out of the whole thing.
And something I think we all needed to hear. I mean, we're living through a lot of despair right now. It's so easy to get discouraged, but remembering to believe in yourself. And of course, that nice Levi's sponsored message of love, being stronger than hate, right? Is a good reminder. And what also struck me was that there was a lot of bilingualness happening around the Super Bowl. Like that Owen Wilson, Sofia Vergara commercial where she's like trying to get him to speak Spanish and he's struggling. Or even Melissa McCarthy in the telenovela. I was kind of like, what is going on? But I think it spoke to the theme of unity that you were speaking about, Auzzy, and this idea that kind of flipping the script a little bit, you know, which I thought was really profound.
Yeah, I think when you talk about, I'm really referencing the very end of the performance, and you mentioned he when he's giving callbacks to all these different countries, but before they said God bless America, and he lists all these different countries that are in the Americas and not just in North America. He pays homage and attention to North America, Central America, South America, and understanding what's going on in this country right now. And we have a federal administration that is trying to push a rigid ideology of what American ideals are. And so to go on the stage,
a whole other halftime show,
right? And so
to try to reinforce that,
you know, and to go on a stage like the Super Bowl again, where all the heads are turned and time stands still for a moment, and to recognize America is Spanish-speaking people. You know, America is Puerto Rico. America is all these different things, all these different cultures, customs.
I mean, go to the Bronx in New York. Okay?
Right, you know?
Like, go to Brooklyn, you see it. The storytelling was just, like, amazing. The fact that he wasn't actually on a stage, he was in a casa, you know, a house, and then, like, he's just walking and weaving through it. Like, that was amazing. I really enjoyed him not just being on one stage.
I love the old man in the corner playing dominoes. Small things like that.
Oh, my God.
The young kids that were the young kid in the chair that was falling asleep at the wedding. You know, like,
and he's like,
that part.
these small bits of culture is like super pivotal, right? So all of it put together was just
even the cake,
the wedding.
And he was the witness for that couple that actually got married in real life. Because at first I was like, is this just a stage thing?
No. And even the cake, like all the Puerto Rican weddings that I've been to, even my brothers, like we've had like the stairs with the tears, like they was just so nostalgic. Like everything everything you see, that's Puerto Rico. Everything you see, that's Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
If he could have brought a beach there, he would have. He probably was trying to bring some sand, but they're like, okay, bye. We're not trying to pick up everything.
That's too much happening. Now, one thing that I noticed was all the AI commercials, and like this
AI is killing me, girl.
It's everywhere, right? It's probably gonna be watching us on YouTube anyway. But it was interesting because I think it was this juxtaposition of like the humanity that we saw in the performance and in everything that was supporting the performance, the Super Bowl in general. But then you have these commercials that I think we're trying to humanize AI in a way.
And doing a very bad job of it.
Say more.
Like the robots, and they were giving each other like.
and not just like the weird sitcom Dunkin' Donuts commercial.
Oh yeah, that was
like
out of nowhere.
Why did everybody look super young? I'm like, is this AI? I thought that's what
I think it was.
I think it might have been. I'm like, how did y'all get Carlton from 30 years ago?
Exactly. And why does Carlton look like from 30 years ago? He looks so young.
Like Urkel's 50. Why does he look like he's 15 right now?
But I think it speaks to this nostalgia that we all are kind of having for like the simpler days.
Yeah. I think that's definitely a piece of it. But I don't know. Like you said, the juxtaposition between the humanity of the halftime show and then just seeing a lot of these AI slop commercials.
I wasn't too big on the commercials. I'm usually like anticipating and like, oh my God, yes, and just excited about it. But it was, I don't know.
Yeah.
Mixed feelings.
Yeah, I think it's also because there's so much capitalism, right? Like I remember the party I was at, there was a kid there, and there was I can't remember which commercial, but they were like, "Why are they telling us about this?" I'm like, "They're trying to get you to buy something." Yeah. Like at the end of the day, and I think it speaks to what we were saying earlier about yes, the Super Bowl is a stage, all the eyes are watching, but dare I say, even the roots of America are still capitalistic. So that's sort of our patriotism in and of itself.
Yeah.
So looking forward, I think it's going to be hard. Like last year, we said it would be hard for anyone to top Kendrick's performance, but Bad Bunny did. Yeah. So who do you think?
Well,
you have
could be the person.
Well, what did you think about what Chris Brown said?
Oh,
after seeing the
performance,
Chris Brown, I love you. I started actually my whole dancing career and went to school because I thought I was going to be a Chris Brown back dancer. And for you to come back and say, well, it's by the time they need me now. Listen, I want you at the Super Bowl. Trust me. But you can't say that after Bad Bunny. You know what that meant. I think he feels
robbed because, of what happened when he was supposed to perform. Then the Breezy Bowl happened. And so now he's like, they need
But I would love to see Chris Brown next. That would be amazing because he's an amazing entertainer, dancer, singer. We all know that. But Chris Brown, watch out.
We shall see. Well, this has been fantastic.
Thank you, Paris.
So much.
Thank you,
really appreciate it.
Well, I feel like that was perfect representation for me, especially because I'm also Puerto Rican and I'm from the Bronx. So when Nueva York came on, I was dancing. And it was perfect because I feel like, we have a very small percentage of Spanish people living here in Boston. We have a higher percentage in Lawrence, but I feel like in the actual greater Boston area, we don't have that many people. So it was great to see him live, especially in this political climate for our country. So it made me cry. It was super emotional. And I felt like the production of it all just really went well.
I think that greater representation in sports is very important. A conversation that a lot of me and my friends have all the time is just how conservative and closed things like the NFL are. I know it doesn't look like it on screen, but a lot of the makeup of the people who run that world of sports, the people who decide, look at Shedeur Sanders, for example, the people who decide I don't know what major decisions are being made. It's a very closed world. So I think that by having a halftime show that's based on representation, you're opening more Americans' eyes to the possibilities. Look at what can happen when we represent other people more.
I think it was awesome. It was literally crazy. The set design was insane. I think it's a great move, I guess. In the state of our country right now, it's literally, I guess, people of color feel under attack at all times now. I feel like even as a POC, it's crazy to be in a city like this, and I think that was an awesome move for the country as a whole. I mean, to represent almost half of the people that live here.
I just love the halftime show. I think that it showed us that there's a way to be more representative of other people, and that the right way to do things is love and not hate. That's it.
We loved it. We love Bad Bunny, and we think he's doing a lot for our country right now.
Yo soy Puerto Riqueña, free Puerto Rico. We're a colony of the United States. We need to be free. Well, ICE, we need to get out of here. Okay, yeah, we absolutely hate ICE, and we love the entire halftime performance.
And it was beautiful. It was art, and we love that.
No, because it was an entire artistic thing. It didn't matter if white Americans see it and if white Americans don't. Free Puerto Rico.
Like, I think the Super Bowl halftime show was necessary, especially in the times we're in right now. I think it's a way to empower people that probably feel like they're being out to be God, and they're not out to be God. Because I was listening to that halftime show and I said it was amazing.
Especially in a sports bar environment, you never know how that was going to go, but I think the response was awesome and amazing. Everyone seemed super positive about it, and it's just really great to see representation of any kind in this type of environment.
My parents are immigrants, and I think that's what he did was pretty good. He kind of like put out a word out there, bringing out a bunch of people like from different places all around the world, just trying to bring down the peace.
It was such a beautiful performance, and I mean, Bad Bunny's music, I don't know how you can't not want to dance when you hear his music. Like, it's so fun, and the culture that he represents is so beautiful, and it makes up so much of the US, so why wouldn't we want to celebrate that and to put that on screens for millions of people to see? So I think it was really great.
I thought that the half show was great. The fact that they used Bad Bunny just to represent the Americas, North and Central and South America, was an amazing way to introduce to different cultures.
I think it was really powerful, especially at the end when he named all the countries in South America. I think that was good in Central America.
Definitely, I agree. I love how Bad Bunny is a representation of Puerto Rico, and how in the U.S. right now, it's definitely important to have representation from.
I think also the spike, like when he threw the football at the end, I thought that was really good.